Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for yet another match of the Sevens. This one, the semi-final, the second semi-final that is between Samoa and Australia. Looking through at Samoa's starting lineup, it will be Pelo Maleko, Sione, also Valvasa Afa, Paul Scanlon, Malani Matavao, Steve Unisai, and also Letufia in that starting lineup. Then for Australia, Nick Maloof, Nathan Lawson, Henry Patterson, Dietrich Roach, Corey Toole is actually out there. I thought he had a bit of an injury for that last one, and also Ben Dowling and Matthew Gonzalez. Now, I have got the way that the table does sit, or I guess the kind of brackets does sit, and I do need to make it so that New Zealand, they are now through to the final after their victory over Fiji. So now it's the question of, will it be Samoa or will it be Australia who do end up joining them? And we want to see New Zealand versus Australia against this Rice, and also just left the New Zealand stream and also lead Samoa. And there's, as I said, Nathan. But this game's going to be exciting. And these two sides are going to put it all on the line, see who is able to get themselves a victory. But Adam Lil in charge, the English referee for this game. But for me, if I had to pick one player for each side that's going to be important, I would say Malani Matavao. And also, I'm going to go Henry Patterson after scoring 2 tries in his last game. And also, we've got that, come on. Who do we want to win? Says Ollie, it's a question of, do you want to see New Zealand versus Samoa, or do you want to see Samoa versus Fiji and New Zealand versus Australia? Those are the questions that we do need to answer. But we are now underway for this game, the second semi-final, ladies and gentlemen. And it has gone up, taken nicely by Malani Matavao. Been able to claim it just outside of the 10-metre line. Now, nice bit of footwork from Pelo Maleko. Now, Australia, they were down by 17 points against South Africa. That's a penalty to Samoa. He did leave his feet a little bit there. Matthew Gonzalez. But yeah, 17-0 down to then go on to win that game. 21 points to 17. Sione now trying to go through. The defence from Australia needs to be alert and on point for this game. Henry Hutchison actually not playing in this series. So because of that, Nick Maloof is in charge. Scanlon is dropped by Pelo Maleko. And now the counter-attack could be on for the Australians. And off to the side, Corey Toole. He's now going to back his pace. He's running out of space. He's done beautifully to flick it back on the inside. But Malani Matavao unable to claim it. Also dropping that ball for the Australians. I think that was actually Ben Dowling. So now it will be the scrum for Samoa. This game started at a pretty frantic pace. And New Zealand versus Samoa. Samoa will be a better final. And we want a Tasman final, says Rice. And lose Australia, lose, says Gareth there. Also, we have got there. And the Jamalo says Catherine. And Waterboy, you're up, says Nathan. And let's go Manu Samoa from Donovan here. But do let me know who you think the player will be who scores the first try of this game. I'm going to go... I'll go Sione. Ioana Sione. First semi-final matchup for these teams since Adelaide 2010 for them going head-to-head. It's quite some time since we've seen these two play off for a semi-final of a competition. Actually, 12 years or so. Now Steve Unisai does find that offload. Now pass back. It looks like Samoa just trying to find that gap in the Australian defence, which is not really one that opens up too often. But now Ioana Sione sitting close to the touchline, wrestled down, and nice work with the long frame there. Brilliantly done by Nathan Lawson. Quick tap taken by the Australians on the halfway line now. Passing it back across, Gonzalez goes to Dietrich Roach. Stepping sideways, gives it off to Corey Toole. Sounds the dummy as if he was going to find that offload to Dowling, but instead decides against using him now. Matthew Gonzalez plays halfback. Passes back across. Australia, Henry Patterson, a man who scored 2 tries in their last matchup, and he will be open to repeat that. Another man who scored 2 tries in the last match, though, Paul Scanlon. He is going to be on the side of Samoa, and there wasn't enough, or it wasn't enough for him, I should say. So they did end up going into touch Maleko in there. As well says that, a very good prediction. And there, or Salafina, in fact. And also want Samoa to win the Sevens comp, says Nathan, and also guy with Vai, or Vai, or whatever how his name is spelled. So it's either Va'a Apilo Malika or Valvasa Afa, I assume, are the two that you're thinking about. So one of those two, actually, both of them have got a very good chance of being able to get it as well. Now, Letufia, sorry. That's thrown in Sione across to Malani Matavao. Inside of their own 22, currently Samoa building a couple passes together, seeing whether or not that gap opens up. And now Valvasa Afa with a good run. Henry Patterson able to rip it away. Nick Maloof's gone over him like he's a hurdle. Quick take from Samoa. Now still deep inside of their own 22. They may even consider a kick soon, Samoa. See if it does open up. Although, first of all, this attack would be a good option. It's been dropped, and now it's in the hands of Henry Patterson. A little bit of a foot trip there from Valvasa Afa, but it was a good strategy, I guess, to be able to drag him down, although now there's an advantage against the Samoan. Corito on the outside if Roach wants him. He doesn't need him, though. Goes up the middle, and Dietrich Roach does manage to score the try for Australia. And also, it was in the final CCX. At this stage, the way that our board has it, it is New Zealand. They were able to beat Fiji. I look like I'm kind of like applying for one of those, what's the one, the weakest link, how they put up the board with who they think should go home. And at this stage, neither of these sides want to. They want to keep on fighting, but that is the first try of the match for the Australians. And Dietrich Roach able to do it. But that's the thing, when you got Corito on the outside, he is that dangerous that you just never quite can have the man, I guess, run off him, really. Dietrich Roach straight over the middle, and now it will be 7-0 in favour of Australia. So the difference at this stage between the last game that we did see for Fiji and New Zealand and Australia and Samoa is that Samoa, they are going to be behind. So they are almost the New Zealand of this match. And also, this first time in a fair bit, New Zealand have beaten Fiji. Or am I missing a match? CSX? No, it's been quite some time. The last two matches that they've had was one in the final and one for Tokyo 2020 Olympics. So since that took place, we have not been able to beat the Fijians, even though they have tried quite a few times. That's going to be slapped back onto the side of Australia. Dowling passes it back across to Dietrich Roach. Now backline, Lawson gives it off to Henry Patterson. Is that a mouth guard or someone's boot part that's gone flying? I think Henry Patterson decides to take the quick tab once again. Now passes it back across. And like they're saying, quite a few penalties in a row against Samoa, which is the last thing that they need. Would love a Samoa versus Fiji and Australia versus New Zealand. And as RC6 and Samoa did come back in this tournament so far, says Roman Soldiers, exactly right. 14-0 down or 12-0 down against Scotland, in fact. And they were able to come back and get themselves the victory 14-12. But now looks like they want to try and get themselves their second try of the match. Australia down the wing. Not a lot of space for Dunbar. In fact, it was Lawson. I confused those two. They're both big units. As they say that Samoa, they have got some units of their own. Nice step. Beautiful inside ball to Matthew Gonzalez. Stays on his feet. And that will be the try for Australia. And that is their second of the match. So they are going to have to try and come back now from 14-0 down. And also come on Samoa. Says Flash and also, yes, New Zealand in the finals. Says MH Joy there. But yeah, very nicely done by the Australians. It could be a Trans-Tasman final with a Pacific Island third place playoff game. Both are going to be absolutely brilliant. But like I mentioned, still early on in this game, there's still a chance that we see a bit of a comeback from the Samoans. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated. You guys will be in here. Also, if you do want to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport, that is our second channel, and we do post plenty of other videos that will be coming up on that one very, very soon. But 50 seconds left now with the first half. Samoa, they are seeming to struggle a little bit against the Australians, who did seem to find their form in the second half up against South Africa. So maybe peaking at just the right time of the competition. Now Samoa, what can they do to counter here? How do you stop the roll and train of the Aussies? Dietrich Roach about to kick this one off by the looks of it. Taking his time. 25 seconds left in this first half. Taken nicely by Milani Matavao. Offloads it back down and trying to catch them a little bit off guard there by taking that one as quickly as possible there for Samoa. Now cut out wide. Oh, it's dropped as well. And it's just a clean drop for Va'apilo Maliko. And like they're saying, unusual to see a mistake from that man in the open. Also, I think they are all cozy bros or cuzzy bros. And then also click like and subscribe, or click like and subscribe if you just discover Kiwi Lad, says MH Choi. So yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to check us out on the other videos that we do. We have got the Pacific Nations Cup actually coming up really soon, which is going to be Samoa, Fiji, Tonga, and also Australia A. So yeah, plenty of excitement coming up for those ones. But New Zealand, they were able to beat Fiji. I believe it was 22 points to 19. I think it was. But then the final that we will get to see with New Zealand in it is at 4:58 a.m. The kind of bronze medal final. It will be Fiji versus the loser of this game, and that will be taking place at 4:28 a.m. So an early morning start for us now. A nice run. Oh, he's just turned the Samoan defense inside out, and it's going to be Henry Patterson who once again gets himself over the try line. And this is now going to make the score more than likely 21-0. And that is the 4th try for Henry Patterson. He is absolutely loving it. Unfortunately, Milani Matavao and also it was Owen Nui, or Scanlon, in fact, who just ended up tripping his own player. And just up to that, channel says, Roman Soldiers, appreciate you, mate. And yeah, we're very close to the 1,000 subscribers over there, which is very awesome indeed. And it is kind of, I guess you could call it, it's our second channel, but it's also our backup channel, just in case anything random happens to this one, such as a copyright strike or anything along those lines, just so that we can keep on bringing you guys plenty more content. Oops, I dropped my pen. That is unfortunate, and I don't think I'll be able to find it. We have got Samoa. Let's take that ball to the try line. Here's Salafina, and that is exactly what they're going to have to do 3 times in this second half. Did that one? It actually missed. So 3 converted tries here for Samoa will get them back into this contest, but that is going to be a massive ask. Brian Lima, the chiropractor, he won't be too happy. He's probably going to get ready to break a couple of those Samoans apart if they keep on making mistakes. At the moment in the top 3 for the tackles, 12 tackles for Steve Onisai, Valvasa Alpha also making the 12, but then 16 made by one of the Australians. So that'll be what they are after. And also most carries by the Australians, Dietrich Roach and also Henry Patterson. He has been playing extremely well in this series for London. But yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got the finals coming up. Like I mentioned, it is going to be at 4:28 Fiji versus the loser of this match, which could be Samoa at this point in time, unless we see that massive comeback. And then it will be New Zealand versus the winner of this game at 4:58 a.m. We will also try and get a preview out for that bronze medal final, as well as the final if we do have the time, although I think it was pretty tight with whether or not we could get through the 2 videos that we did for before these 2 games. So we may only be able to do the one. So I guess the question is, would you guys rather have a preview for the match between Fiji and Samoa, if that is the way that it sits, or the match between New Zealand and Australia? Do let me know, and I will see how we get on with the time side of things. Now, Twickenham, like they're saying, it is sunny, it is beautiful. At the moment, high process, Don, welcome in, mate. It looks like South Africa might not get the series, says Roman Soldiers. That is true, because Australia, they are now starting to build their way back in. I believe Australia were 3rd, weren't they? Argentina, they were sitting in 1st. And then I believe alongside that, it is South Africa in 2nd, taken nicely. And now, once again, it's going to be almost broken through for Dowling. Unable to get off, though, the way that he needed to through a gap. Now hanging on to this Dietrich Roach. Once again, now passes it back across. Beautiful work from the Australians to hang on to this ball as long as possible. That's the thing. They don't even really need to score points. All they need to do is just hang on to it for as long as possible. Welcome, Tom. And Catherine Scott, Fiji versus New Zealand as well. Yes, the 3-point are very close between the top 3. Or yes, the points are very close between the top 3. And it's all going to come down to Los Angeles. And we will be covering that on the channel alongside the Sevens World Cup, the Commonwealth Games Sevens. All of it is coming up on the Kiwi Lads channel. So be sure to stick around if you do love your Sevens. We've also got Super Rugby, International Rugby, and everything in between. That's going to be now the penalty for a little bit of the extra roll in the breakdown. And I think Australia using that tactic that New Zealand used, how it was just kind of keep the ball a little bit longer, make the pass after hearing the whistle, because then it's a few more seconds on the clock that does get used up. Steve Onisai dragged down 25 minutes out. Scanlon now looking off to the short side here. You're going to see Sione trying to go through. Finds the offload to Valvasafa. It's another mistake, though, from the Samoans. This is very un-Samoan-like at the moment for them. And now the rush defense for Samoa. Dietrich Roach, the wide cutout pass, waiting for it to bounce. Josh Turner now has that one, trying to make it sideways. Once again, the cutout pass. Samoa have about 5 men, all marking 3. So it does mean that the space is opening up now for Australia. Long bottom. Tries to fend off one Samoan, but gets met by Scanlon. Now, Patterson once again goes across Roach. And like they're saying, Australia, they won't mind this at all, just hanging on to the ball phase after phase already in the finals. Meet the winners of this match. And there's CZMH Choi. And also looks like the old Samoa side. Yeah, Brian Lima, he will not be happy with this one at all now. Short ball, beautifully done. Patterson, great run forward. Australia have hung on to this ball for the last 2 minutes, but now it is a penalty to South Africa. Oh, sorry, not South Africa, Samoa. Nice step from Matavao. Finds the offload, but doesn't find the hands cleanly. But now it's with Sione. Now trying to go for the corner. He breaks through. Right, he needs to try and get this one as close to the post as he can, make it a nice easy kick for Malani Matavao. And I was like, low as I says, but that is the first try of the match now for Samoa. And like they're saying, it could be the start of maybe the comeback, although it's still going to be a long way off. That is for sure. They need 2 more converted tries, but Australia scoring 3 tries in that first half. Can Samoa score 3 unanswered in the second? But nicely done by Sione. Was able to break the line well enough to then get himself a nice close kick for Malani Matavao, who does now get it over. Right. Samoa, 4 minutes left. That is more than enough time to get yourself a couple tries. But Australia, if they get 1 more try, you would have to say that there's a good chance that they will go on to make it to the final. Slap back by Samoa, now sitting on the halfway line, and they have got the possession once again, going for the grubber and behind. Scanlon loses. Oh, he had a pace, or a little bit of pace. It's going to be bouncing around like it is some sort of bouncy ball. Now Corey Toole puts it on his boot and waits for it to sit up. It does for him, and that will be the try for Australia. So the risk from Samoa equals reward for the Aussies. And nicely done. And also asked for a repeat. Cheers. And there as well. Says Catherine, and also we have got there plenty of time. And there says Roman, and also we have got there. Yes, Samoa says he made sure, and also Al says Arlo there. But it was kicked downfield initially. I believe it was Falaniko who tried to get the grubber through. Then Corey Toole just got enough of his leg on it. And then it didn't mean that Corey Toole was able to clean it up. And now Samoa will need 3 converted tries in 3 minutes of this match. And also we got there Fitai has said go Manu. And they are nicely done by Corey Toole. So currently the way that it looks like it will be sitting, it will be New Zealand versus Australia in the final and Samoa versus Fiji in the 3rd place playoff. That game is going to be absolutely incredible. In fact, both of them are. And we will be covering both of them on the channel as well. Most tries in the series for an Australian. He's actually right up there now, Corey Toole. And also we have got there the Bears. And there go Manu now nicely taken, regathered by the Australians. Now Corey Toole passes it back. And there is that kind of frustration on the face of the Samoans. They know that this game has not gone the way that they were after. They were able to get themselves 4th last week and to lose. They will be looking to try and get 3rd. And Samoa, please go back to Samoa now, although they've still got their game coming up against Fiji for a possible 3rd or 4th place in these series, which is still higher than the likes of the top of the table Argentina and also top of the table, or relatively top of the table, South Africa. So they're not doing too badly at all, Samoa. All right, now nice step. Long bottom goes through, hanging onto it in one hand. Risky tactic, but it looks like it's worked out for the man. And now all they need is the pass on the outside. Dunbar. In fact, it's Ben Ma who did get the wide pass for the corner. It's slapped back by Samoa. Oh, no. That might be a mistake from Samoa. And Ben Ma might have been able to get that one down. Well done, Manu. The sun will rise again. Exactly right. And who knows, maybe the World Cup could be the perfect opportunity for Samoa to get going and make themselves into champions. We have got there who is in the other final, says Armin. So the way that I've got it at the moment, this is our kind of board that we have got. So Fiji, they did lose to New Zealand. So New Zealand are in the final. Oh. Okay. That's probably a knock-on. So Samoa, whoever wins this game, will face New Zealand in the final as well. And okay, we are just waiting for the no-try call. I've actually lost my pen. One moment. There we go. Okay, restart with a scrum for blue from 5 meters out. And also we have got well done, Manu. Says Salafina there. And yeah, they're working hard at the moment. Like for a side who haven't been a part of the Sevens for that long at all since coming back, and with so many debuts, they have been playing above and beyond. And I like the Samoa side now. I was never interested in watching the old Samoan side, but now it's watchable. And then Australia versus New Zealand final, says Armand. It does look that way as we currently sit. Now about to feed this ball in. Scanlon pass it back for Malani Matavao. They've got a minute and a half to get 3 converted tries here for Samoa. So any job that Australia can do to slow this down, that is exactly what they will try to do. It's a penalty to Samoa. They'll pass it a couple of times. It goes into touch, or almost does. And now Samoa has to go get the ball again on Aussies. And there says Jan. And also we have got the go Manu, says Fitai. Or Fitai, hopefully I said that correctly. Now Samoa going. This will be 1 try. but it will not be enough. They will need another 2. He's just running as quickly as he can. Good running style from Ranui. Does end up putting it down. And now I believe he might even consider going for the drop kick. This one needs to go over is the big thing, though, and he has got it. So now the score will be 14 points to Samoa, 26 to Australia. They need one more try in the next 40 seconds to be able to give themselves just any sort of chance of having one last kickoff received. And Maloalo, and there as well, says it was Celefina there as well. But now kicked off short. Samoa get it back. 30 seconds left on the clock. Could this be one of the greatest comebacks ever if they do get another try? Although there might just not quite be enough time. It's a penalty to Australia. And that probably, I would say, shuts this one down for the Samoans. And also comeback coming. There's out there, I think, Jins later. And probably won't make it, says Roman. So, Soldiers, yeah, it was very optimistic for them to be able to get the 3 tries in a very short amount of time. But now he takes the tap. Australia kick it out. And they are victorious over Samoa. So now it is going to be New Zealand versus Australia in the final. And it will be Samoa versus Fiji in the third place playoff. So pretty much the way that it sits now is that game taking place at 4:28 a.m. That will be Fiji versus Samoa. And then the other game is Australia versus New Zealand. And that will be at 4:58 a.m. I'm going to bed now. Low sleepy. And there says Roman, no worries at all, mate. Yeah, we might get to see you a little bit later on as well. And also we have got the Samoa next time. Exactly right. And they can still try and get themselves a monumental victory over Fiji in a later game. Manu. And then, all right, guys, see you at 4 a.m. Here's the rice there. Yeah, it's going to be a late night. We have got a video coming up later on, and that will be the one between Fiji and Samoa for the preview of that match. And then also, hopefully we do have time to do the game between New Zealand and Australia as well for the preview that is going to have a beer now. Says Alo there. And also we have got their far out. And also you think Canada can beat Japan? It's tough to say because they did extremely well, Japan, in their last game, didn't they? In fact, they beat Kenya, which was a relatively big one. And also New Samoa on side is fire. So there's Aman there. And yeah, they've just got that explosive talent that all you need is half a gap. And they'll be able to make their way straight through. But now anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also check out the Kiwi Lad Sport. We are on the road to 1,000 over there. And currently, I believe we are only sitting just a little bit away. I'm going to have a quick look before we end this live stream and then set up the next one that we are going to be doing, which is going to be Fiji versus Samoa. But yeah, the Kiwi Lad Sport channel actually on 921 subscribers. So we are getting extremely close to anyone who does want to help us out. It is usually appreciated. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the bronze final and then the final at 4:28 and 4:58. And what about Fiji, says Meme? So they are going to be playing in the third place playoff up against Samoa now, as they were defeated by New Zealand in a very close contest, 22 points to 19. So they did end up just missing out for that one, Fiji, but they have got their game up against Samoa, just coming in a very short moment. As well, 4 o'clock on a Sunday equals pub time. And this is Flesh and sound like a plan. But yeah, I will see you all